Have you ever felt a calling from God that seemed, well, a little scary? For us, that call came in the form of a teenager who needed a home. We were a happy, stable family, and the idea of fostering a teen with a history of behavioral issues felt like a huge risk. Would it disrupt the peace we'd worked so hard to build? Would we be able to handle it? The honest answer was we weren't sure. We worried about our own kids, about the stress, about everything that could possibly go wrong. The thought of welcoming a stranger, especially one who had been through so much trauma, was intimidating. We loved the idea of helping, but the reality felt overwhelming. We almost said no before we even started. Our conversations were filled with what ifs. What if they don't fit in? What if they act out? What if this is a mistake? The fear was real, and it almost stopped us from taking the first step. But then the phone rang and everything changed. It was the foster agency. They had an urgent placement, a teenager who needed a safe place right now. All our doubts and fears came rushing back to the surface. We were on the verge of saying we weren't ready. As we talked, feeling the weight of the decision, a thought kept coming back to us, a gentle whisper in the chaos of our minds. It was a simple truth from our faith. God adopts us, every single one of us. He doesn't look at our past, our baggage, or our brokenness and turn away. He welcomes us into his family, just as we are. He loves the broken, the lost, and the hurting. That realization hit us hard. Who were we to say a child was too difficult when God had shown us such immense grace? We were all broken in our own ways, yet he'd welcomed us with open arms. We knew then that our fear wasn't a good enough reason to say no. This wasn't just about our comfort. It was about reflecting the kind of love we had been so freely given. We had to trust that the same God who adopted us would guide us in helping this child, so we stopped and prayed together. It wasn't a complicated prayer. We just asked, Lord, if this is from you, please expand our hearts. Give us a love big enough for this child, a love that looks like yours. In that moment, a sense of peace settled over us. The fear didn't completely disappear, but it was overshadowed by a feeling of purpose. We called the agency back and said yes. That yes was one of the most terrifying and beautiful words we've ever spoken. When he arrived, we welcomed him not as a temporary guest, but as someone we were ready to love as our own. We had a room ready for him, a place that was his and his alone. The first hug was a little awkward, as first hugs with strangers often are, but it was real. We wanted him to know from the very first day that this was more than just a roof over his head. This was a home, and in this home, he was wanted. The first few months were not easy. I won't sugarcoat it. There were tantrums, slammed doors, and moments of deep frustration. He was testing us, pushing every boundary to see if our love was conditional. He'd been let down so many times before, why would we be any different? Building trust was a slow, painstaking process. It was built in the small moments, sitting with him in silence after an outburst, making his favorite meal even when he was giving us the cold shoulder, and consistently telling him we loved him, especially when he was at his most unlovable. We were committed to being a constant, steady presence in his life. Slowly, like a flower turning toward the sun, he began to soften. The walls he had built so high started to crumble, brick by brick. He started sharing little things about his day, then bigger things about his past. He started to laugh with us, to join in on family game nights, and to let us see the incredible person hidden behind the pain. One of the most beautiful moments was when he started asking questions about our faith. He saw something different in the way we handle conflict and the grace we tried to show him. Through countless conversations, he came to understand the love of his Heavenly Father and accepted Christ into his heart. After a journey filled with ups and downs, the day finally came when we stood in a courtroom and made it official. He wasn't our foster son anymore. He was our son forever. The adoption party was a celebration not just for our family, but for everyone who had supported us. We were no longer a family who had just opened their home. We were a forever family, knit together by something stronger than biology. We were a testament to the fact that love, patience, and faith can heal the deepest wounds. Our story is a reminder that God's heart is for every single child, especially the ones society might label as difficult. He calls us to open our hearts and our homes, to love the overlooked and the forgotten. Opening your home to a child in need is a powerful way to live out the gospel. It's messy, it's hard, but it is one of the most rewarding things you will ever do. Love can build a family, and that love can change the world, one child at a time. Every child deserves the hope of a forever family. Thank you for watching and for letting us share our story with you. If our journey has touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories of hope and transformation. We'll see you in the next video.